Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about my February TBR, and I think this is the smallest TBR I've ever put together. February is actually going to be kind of unexpectedly a really busy month for me, and that's because my partner and I are finally moving into a new apartment. So I think I've talked about this in like a lot of videos, how we were wanting to move in together and we've just kind of been waiting to see if a unit was going to come available in the complex that he lives in, because they have this one floor plan that we really like, and we toured it and knew that we wanted to move into one of those, and we were just kind of waiting to see what was going to happen with that. A unit finally did come available, and the move-in date is like mid-February. So we're going to be moving in across 2 consecutive weekends, which means that February is going to be kind of a busy month, kind of a panicky month as we finish getting everything packed up and ready to go, and we get him in and settled, and then we see what furniture I need to bring, and etc, etc. It's going to be kind of a lot going on. So for that reason, I've only put a handful of books in my TBR. It's just 4, and one of them is a reread, and another one I'm not planning to start until after we get moved in. It's probably going to be a longer term read anyway. However, the first book I'm going to be reading in February is an arc for a book that comes out on the 4th, and that's Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fato. This sounds like such a fun book. It's a horror novel about a woman who becomes a nanny, and she has some sort of dark, mysterious past that slowly comes to light as she becomes more integrated into this family's lives and starts to learn their like quirks and their dark secrets. Seems like it's kind of a slasher type book, or maybe like leans in that direction. Sounds like it could also be kind of gothic, so I don't really know entirely what to expect, but I ended up actually requesting this one because Stephen Graham Jones recently posted on Blue Sky that he had read an arc of this and that it was his favorite book he'd read so far this year, and that he anticipated it would be one of his favorite books all year, despite it being early January. So that seemed like very high praise from one of my favorite authors, and I thought that it would be a really good book to pick up and see if I enjoyed it as well. So I was lucky enough that I requested this arc and I got it. So I'm going to be reading this one in the first few days of February. Hopefully I have it as an e-arc, and I'm really looking forward to giving this one a try. Then I realized I have a new book that I just got. I know I shouldn't be buying books while I am getting ready to move, but you'll have just seen a pre-moving unhaul from me. So I unhauled like 30 books and I came home with 2. So I feel like that's okay. And this one's actually very small. So this is the nonfiction that I was going to read for February. And to finish the sentence I originally started, I realized I had the perfect nonfiction when I got home that day, because I have The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and it is super tiny. I allowed myself to buy this one because I knew it was super small, it's very lightweight, and it'll be really easy to pack up and carry. So I felt like this one wasn't a terrible one to bring into my library after getting rid of so many at the same time. I bought this when I went to donate the other books I was getting rid of. So, picked up The Serviceberry, and I'm really intrigued by this. The concept of this is on the back, all flourishing is mutual. It talks about the gift economy and gratitude as useful tools for combating and resisting capitalism and capitalist thought, which I'm just really intrigued by that concept, and I started reading a few pages of this just to get a sense of the writing style, and I immediately love the writing style. I'm really intrigued, and it's really lush descriptions and really clear as a piece of thought. Like, it's kind of stream of consciousness, but in a way that Robin Wall Kimmerer is really clearly leading you through the way that she's thought about this and her own kind of processes. So I was really intrigued by this. I'm very excited to dive into this one and learn more about it, and I'm just excited to explore these ideas a little bit more. I know this is something I've read a little bit about in some of the courses I took in my master's program, so I'm excited to dive further into that. The penultimate book on my TBR is the reread. This is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, and this is for my Works book club. This was the next book that we chose to read. A handful of us have already read it. I think several people have not read it yet, so I think it's going to be a really interesting discussion, but I'm excited to dive back into this book and give it another read, just because I'm curious to see if I take anything new away from it, or if my opinion on the book changes on reread, because this is such an interesting book. It does some interesting things in its exploration of racism and white privilege in the publishing industry, and it's like exploration of social media and the concept of like canceling. So I just really enjoyed the thoughts and the ideas that R.F. Kuang put into this when I read it the first time, and I'm intrigued to see if I feel any differently like on reread, or if I take something additional away from it. So I think it's going to be a really great book club pick, and I'm looking forward to the discussion. The final book on my TBR is the biggest one. It's a little bit ambitious for February, but I'm anticipating it's going to be kind of a longer term read. This is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. My best friend and I have both been kind of wanting to try his work, and so we've decided that we're going to try and buddy read this book to dive into his work, and we both read a lot of fantasy, so we don't feel particularly intimidated by the length of the book or the complexity, We think that actually this is maybe the best chance for both of us to actually really enjoy his work, and we're looking forward to giving it a try. I'm probably going to have to buy a copy of this one, either ebook or physical. I'm not really sure which route I'm going to go yet because my library has it both as an ebook and as a physical copy, but it's like several months wait, and we were wanting to go ahead and read it. I know she's already got the audiobook and we wanted to not have to wait too long or we just wouldn't get around to it. So I'm probably going to buy a copy after I get moved in, but I'm planning to start that kind of in later February, and I anticipate that'll get carried over into March. Quick update from Editing Hope, because I just filmed this video and then went to edit it, same shirt and everything, and realized I had forgotten to mention something that's not specifically reading related, but something I did want to mention that's upcoming for my channel, which is that I'm starting productivity sprints. I wanted to call them productivity sprints because I may or may not actually be reading during them, but I'm hoping to use them largely as a way to motivate myself to prioritize reading more. I've just not been prioritizing it. January's been pretty slumpy for me, and I'm hoping this will help me gain back some of that momentum and motivation. We're also going to be playing some Plastic Duck Simulator during the sprints, so I'm basically going to have that on as the background for the sprints. It's got some really like chill, vibey music in it, and then during the breaks we'll be naming whatever ducks have popped up since the last time we looked at it. I think it should be a lot of fun. I hope you'll join me over there for that. That's going to be probably on Mondays and Tuesdays going forward. As of filming, I'm about to do my first version of this on January 20th, so hopefully you'll be seeing that, or you will have already seen that. But I also just wanted to put this here so that you know this is happening. So if you want to join in, you can do that. I will try to link my Twitch down in the description below. Hopefully I'll remember to do it, but it's also linked on my main channel page. So there's that. And now back to 5 minutes ago, Hope, for the outro. So that's everything I'm planning to read in February. Let me know down in the comments below what you're planning to read in February, and I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I hope you'll consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.